Mr. Mayor, City Council members, good evening. My name is Steve Posner. I reside in Alpine, Texas. I speak today to urge you to vote against allowing the Alpine Casparis Airport to become a home base for the launching and operations of unmanned aerial drones. I'm a licensed pilot for 30 years. The last 13 years I've been flying in the unique airspace around the Big Bend. My concerns are fourfold. Safety. It's a matter of when, not if, a drone will have a mid-air collision with a manned aircraft over Alpine. Economics. It will kill cities' fuel sale business and drive commerce away from the airport, including losing our air ambulance service, who's already stated they consider it too high a risk to fly into an uncontrolled airport with no air traffic control services if they use this as a drone launching site. Liability. I was astounded to hear that nobody's seen the land use agreement when I got it from the city. It clearly states that Texas A&M is not responsible for death or injury, et cetera, et cetera. And if you look on the bottom of the land use agreement, this is prepared by the Office of General Counsel of the FAA UAS Test Site Initiative. This is the land use agreement you will be required to sign. And culture. Alpine's peace and tranquility will be marred by noise and pollution of drones flying over the city. Now allow me to flesh these out with some facts. First, the safety issue. TxDOT Aviation Division has called our Alpine Airport one of the busiest non-towered airports in Texas. It's feast or famine. At times there's little activity. At other times there are so many planes coming in that you can't find a place to park an airplane on the ramp. Customs and Border Protection Aviation is based on our airport, operates helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft with many, many takeoffs and landings per day. The DPS State Police helicopters based at our airport, they scramble into the air at all times of day and night. UPS operates aircraft every day into and out of our airport to deliver overnight packages. Our air ambulance is very busy, often with multiple patient evacuation flights per day. Business jets fly in and out every day supporting local businesses. Hunters and tourists fly in. The airport's the gateway to the Big Bend. Civil Air Patrol flies in with many, many aircraft for the periodic mountain search and rescue training. During wildfire season, Forestry Service operates helicopters out of Alpine for firefighting. Ranchers from all over the Big Bend area fly their planes up to Alpine to fill up their ranch planes with fuel. Sul Ross University, besides flying university regents for meetings, often fly wildlife tracking missions out of our airport. McDonald Observatory uses the Alpine Airport for officials to fly in and out of the observatory, and the military conducts aerial refueling over the Alpine Airport. Ours can be a very, very busy airspace. So with all these aircraft flying around Alpine and the Big Bend, how do we prevent the mid-air collision with a pilotless drone? Well, I actually asked one of the contractors who's here today at his last visit what their strategies are to prevent collisions. The answers I got were flawed and won't work in our unique airspace, even though they work in other parts of the country that have control towers and air traffic control radar, which Alpine doesn't have. The strategy is, when they're flying a drone, they will be talking with Air Traffic Control Center in Albuquerque. Well, what they don't seem to know, center radar cannot see anything below 7,500 feet in the Alpine area. Albuquerque has no radio communications coverage in our airport area or anywhere south of here. Albuquerque Center cannot and does not provide aircraft separation services around Alpine. So the next strategy is they propose to have a chase plane 1 mile in trail behind the drone at all times. So I asked, if the chase plane sees a collision conflict, can it steer the drone away? Their answer is, no, the chase plane has no control of the drone whatsoever. I asked how they propose to safely fly their drones across the military training route south of Alpine, where jets routinely fly at 250 miles per hour at low altitudes, where they would never be able to see a small drone, let alone have time to steer around one before hitting it. They were unaware that there was a military training route here. One of our local pilots has already experienced a near mid-air collision with a drone. Mr. Johnny Williams of Marfa, a very experienced former Border Patrol pilot, encountered a near miss with a drone while flying near El Paso. He was talking to air traffic control at El Paso at the time. They never saw the drone on radar. It may not be safe for citizens on the ground either. Last Saturday, a drone lost control and crashed into a Navy ship in Southern California. There were multiple injuries. Last week, a $4 million drone in upstate New York with a much more sophisticated control system than anything Texas A&M is going to use lost control and crashed. In August at Virginia Motorsports Park, a drone went out of control and crashed into a crowd of spectators. There were multiple injuries. Closer to home, earlier in the year outside of Houston, the Sheriff's Department lost control of its drone. It came back at them and finally crashed into their SWAT vehicle. Now the economic issue. TxDOT Aviation's economic impact study determined that Alpine's airport generates $2.4 million per year to the Alpine and Big Bend economy. The city of Alpine makes a profit selling fuel to aircraft at the airport. The average business jet that refuels at Alpine makes a $1,500 purchase. The operation of unmanned drones will scare away private business traffic at the airport and kill fuel sales and the profitability of the airport. Alpine is the mule deer capital of Texas. Most of the hunters that stimulate our economy fly charter jets into our airport. Charter companies have indicated they will stop flying into our airport due to the danger of unmanned drones flying in the area. As I said before, the air ambulance provider has indicated they will have to stop flying into Alpine due to the danger of flones flying into an uncontrolled airport with no radar separation services. The presence of drones flying overhead in the area will reduce desirability of land and homes in the area and degrade property values. The liability issue will allow the city attorney to address that. Again, if people claim they haven't seen the land use agreement, here it is. The city has a copy because that's where I got mine. Finally, and this may be the most important, is the cultural issue. Why do people move to the Big Bend area when surely it would be much more convenient to live in a big city? This is the home of the last frontier. People choose to live here for the isolation, for the beauty, for the silence, for the peace and tranquility, not the noise nuisance of drones flying over their heads. Not to live in fear of an out-of-control drone crashing into their house, or fear of what an in-control drone is doing circling over their property. Please vote to not sign a contract to allow drone operation at the Alpine Casparis Airport. Thanks for your kind attention.